Hello, friends. How are you? I see Key was here first today. Blur and Pie, not first, but still love me. I love you guys too. Welcome in, everybody. How's it going? Oh my goodness. Yesterday was a bit rough for me because Tuesday night I bent over and really hurt my back. Uh, and I don't think I realized how badly I hurt my back until I woke up this morning and it didn't hurt that much. I was like, oh, I was in a lot of pain yesterday. So today I actually did not have to take a painkiller in order to be able to sit at my desk, which is very nice. I always have Roboxacet in the house. For those that don't know, Roboxacet is basically Tylenol and methocarbamol, which is a muscle relaxant. I always have that in the house because I do have back problems pretty regularly. So it wasn't a huge deal to just go ahead and take one of those yesterday. But I'm doing a lot better. I iced my back 4 times yesterday, and I've iced it again this morning, and it seems to be doing a lot better as long as I don't bend. If I don't bend over, I'm in pretty good shape. So still being a little bit careful with how I move and a little bit ginger today, but doing better. A 69 stream streak. Heck yeah, Blur. You should get to share that one. It should be one of the milestones. How are you guys doing? Key, how's it going? Blur, how's it going? What is up, my friends? Pie, Lurkin, how you doing? We are gonna actually be working on cover stuff today. So way back when I was ready to release the first Everyone's Child novel, we did a stream where I built the cover here on stream. I can't remember if I built all of them on stream. I don't think I did the 3rd cover on stream because I seem to remember that I had to fit it into a time that didn't work with streaming just because of what was going on at the time. But I do recall that we did the first cover, and the concept that I had for it never fully worked. The way that I had sort of envisioned it and imagined it, I just wasn't really able to pull it off. And now it's time to do the first box set for this series. And that means it needs a cover. Spine replacement needs to be a thing. Seriously. I would trade mine in an instant because I get nothing but problems from my back to begin with. I was really frustrated too. I told Ghost Pepper this, but I was really frustrated yesterday because I actually felt really good this week. It was one of the rare weeks where my back wasn't doing anything to trouble me. I felt really good. I was starting to get back into my regular yoga routine. And then I bent over and I did something to my back like that, like in an instant. So yesterday was kind of rough. But today I'm at least feeling a little bit more capable of moving around. I'm not 100%. If I move a little too quickly or if I bend a little too much, my body kind of reminds me that it's not happy with me at the moment. But I am at least able to sit in my comfy chair and not feel too gross like I did yesterday, so that's an improvement. It's a med day for you, Blur. I'm so sorry. Does it have to do with what we talked about yesterday, or is it just a med day in general? If you need to talk about anything, we're here. But also, as always, feel free to just vibe. No big deal. So yeah, when I first did these covers, they just didn't really come out the way I wanted them to. I think the concept that I had was a good one, but it was a little too complicated for what I was actually trying to pull off. Yeah, we're gonna work on a cover today, Carly. Also, Carly, how you doing? So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go back to the very first cover that I made. I do have Lo-Fi Spirits, Lo-Fi Sessions up in the background because we're going to use it for sounds today. But I don't think we're going to have the visual focused for very long. I do need to do one thing before we switch over. And that is why I have things set up this way, is I need to pop into my deposit photos account and grab the image that I want to use for this. So, yes. Get an extra large. Download. Oh, Blur, I'm so sorry to hear that. I was hoping that it would be resolved, but it sounds like maybe it has either not been resolved or / gotten worse. But we're here for you, Blur. Whatever you need. Even if what you need is to just chill. I'm sitting at a very weird angle. I need to adjust. You're not sure today? Not sure how you're doing, Carly? Oops. Alright. Alright. So basically what I've done is I've gone back to... It's gotten worse. Blur, I'm so sorry. I'm sending you digital hugs and spiritual hugs. We're here for you. I wish I could help, but I know that I can't, so I'll just be here for you as hardcore as I can. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna go, this is the cover that we made, and this is actually one of the covers that I'm happy with. I'm actually really happy with how this cover came out. It's the later covers in the series that I'm not entirely sure came out the way I wanted them to. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm going to take this cover and I am going to turn it into the box set cover. So I'm going to immediately save as, box set cover. That's fine. Actually, I have to turn off my display capture for a second because now I need to close this, and there are some things. There's some secret things. So now I essentially have, two copies of the cover. One here that we will leave untouched. I've done things, it basically saves everything I've done in Photoshop, and I've done some things I can't necessarily show on stream in my recent files. So we're gonna save this cover to be the box set. I don't know if we'll get to that one today. We're gonna take our original book 1 cover and we're gonna make some changes to it. And I'm very pleased with myself because I realized that if I turn this off, I do still have the original image underneath, which is perfect. That's what I want. So what I'm actually gonna do is turn off the text. You might need to turn that back on later for reference. We're working with this image, and so this is the finished version of what I made for the background for the cover, minus the part that we made see-through. Hang on. Where's the extra bit? I can leave that on as well, or I can turn that off. I might leave it. I might leave a little bit of the dynamic lighting there. So minus this part, which is where we made it transparent, essentially. So this is the base cover that we're going to work with. So part of the work is already done. All I need is a chill place to hang out for a little bit, and this is the perfect place. We're here, Blur. We're here for at least the next probably 3 hours. Just, it's not so much secrets as stuff I can't really show on screen, on stream, because it involves a shirtless dude. You know. I'm just gonna lean out of frame here for a second. I'm glad you can actually hang out today too, Carly. I know I often stream during your work/school hours, so yes, there's some very browse content that I just don't want to accidentally flash. Just cover the nips. Unfortunately, on a screen preview, like on the little mini preview, there's no way for me to cover all the nips. But that is exactly what I'm worried about accidentally flashing is nips. No nips today, my friends. Let me just to be sure, what is this gonna open up to? Okay. All right, and so basically what I originally had as a concept for the covers was I wanted to have a background and then I wanted to have some kind of object or something through which you could see a different background. And I was never really able to do that with the second cover. Hang on. Bear with me here. With the second cover, I did do, it's the third cover that I'm mostly not happy with, but through the second cover, you can see a little bit better, good thing I covered that because it flashed up the preview for a hot second. You can see how I have the hourglass and then behind it. So this one was kind of the closest to working out the way I wanted it to, but I've never been entirely happy with them. So I've come back to what I hope is a simpler concept. Yeah, it's a bunch of little previews. Key is what it does is it puts a bunch of little previews. And since I made a cover for my other name recently, there's like 5 little previews of a shirtless guy. So I don't know how I would cover all the nips at once. I have some art that I can't show on stream either. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it would be teeny tiny. I doubt that anybody would be like, oh my god, report. But, you know, just in case. So this is kind of what I did, is I went back to the drawing board with my idea. And I came up with something that, one, hopefully reveals a bit more image through it, and 2, is a little bit simpler. And so basically in Everyone's Child, there are these 3 characters known as the Knights, who are primordial beings, genderless primordial beings that were frozen in time, essentially, by the goddess of creation, and reawakened into the current time period. So I've chosen an object or an image based on each of them. For the first book, we're using the cat claws. For the second book, I found a ram horn. It's actually a nautilus shell, but you can't tell the difference. Secrets. And hacks, friends. And then some feathered wings for the third one. And so what I'm going to try to do is see if I can pull off this... yeah, can't find ram horns? Nautilus shell. Worked instantly, first try. So what we're going to do is be in the correct thing, because otherwise it doesn't select. I'm basically going to overlay this on top of... so we want to come here and hit Control-V to create a new layer. And it's almost exactly the size. It's almost exactly the right size anyway. So we're going to make it Small enough to fit fully in the cover space, essentially. And now I can make it a little bit bigger than that. I can also, if I want to, I can adjust the tilt ever so slightly so that it goes onto. And then if I were to pop up our text, you wouldn't really be able to see it too much at the moment, but essentially we want to make sure that it's not coinciding too much with this, because we don't want too much of the text to be over top of that. This looks pretty good. I can always adjust the size of it a little bit more. I can also move it down slightly, I think. Because I want most of it to be on this central portion where the most visually interesting part needs to be, essentially. And now there's a couple of things that I can do here. But I think what I'm essentially going to do is just try to select the white and get rid of it. So let's see if these lines are clear enough to do what I want to do. Not quite, because I want... These lines aren't solid, which is a bit of a problem. So let's see if I can turn down the sensitivity. Because I think if I... pixels will be selected. Yeah. Okay. Because these lines aren't quite solid, which is causing the issue. So I might have to go in and select them manually. Oh, Carly, you're beautiful and I love you. Thank you. Key clutching the oils. I honestly don't think anybody who hangs out here would be like specifically troubled by by seeing a hot flash for like 2 seconds of man nips, but you never know, you know. All right, just zoom way in here. Also, let's turn the text back off because it's not helping me at the current moment. Here's what I could do. Oops, well, that wasn't quite what I wanted to do. Luckily, there's these nice, clear, thick lines to work with here. I was hoping I wouldn't have to select this all individually, but it's fine. I'm sure someone who knew Photoshop better than I do would have a faster and easier way to do this, but I just think that I think that I'm kind of screwed by the fact that the lines aren't solid, but that's okay. I wonder if it would be easier to select the black lines and then everything inside of them, but I feel like it's the same. I feel like it's the same. Could also because I didn't look at my the blending options, which I could just do. Could just do that. So I might not need to do this at all. Although I do want to preserve... I want to preserve the white part inside. I'm basically trying to do that, but... It's actually very encouraging. So maybe there's a simpler way to do what I'm trying to do. Well, let's see. Actually... see if we can make our life more simple. I slipped too far away from my lumbar support. Let's see for a second. Maybe if I do it in reverse. could I do it? Oh yeah, hang on. I remember the last time I opened something, it flashed up a thing. Let's see. Whoops. Oop. Bleh. That's on my, I accidentally selected all on my OBS overlay. That could have been bad. So let's see. When we did this, it just showed that portion. So if I turn this stuff off, essentially, if I turn off some of these layers, I'm never going to remember what was supposed to be on and what was supposed to be off. Do this, where we just plunk it in right there. So this is essentially what I'm trying to do here, is just create a brief, hang on, though, I should, preserve the size of the image when I do this. So I'm basically just trying to create a view through this of another background. Why is it so small? Oops, I forgot to save it before I scrolled away. God damn it! I just did it again! Oh. Hit the check mark, Megan. Jesus. Let me just make sure there's not a slightly bigger version of this. So if I blow that up, it's gonna distort it. It's the same one. Now it's gonna be way too big. There we go. Much better. Now I don't have to click the check mark at all. Byosh! And it looks much less distorted. It looked like it was really badly distorting the, So that's kind of what we're going for. You can see, I mean, I can move it around some more to give different hints of the image depending on what I want to come through here. I'm pretty happy with that. So maybe what I can do, I do have to deselect some of it. Because I originally wanted the claw portion to be see-through too. So I wonder if if I add black to the claws. If I just paint those portions black, if it will do what I want to do. Is this Photoshop? Are you fancy? This is Photoshop. I don't know if that makes me fancy, but this is Photoshop for sure. I'm just wondering if I should select those bits too. This puts me back to my original. Puts me back to my original plan. I wonder if I just basically. In some of these lines. Oh, it's not quite black, that's why. Interesting. Although we do lose some of the knuckles there. I think I have to, So I've selected the black now, essentially. Do you use Canva, Sardinisms? Okay. Just let me... Contemplating. So I'm just looking at... Just looking at the knuckles. So I think I can actually just deselect everything else. What the heck? I don't think it did what I wanted it to do when I did that. No. I feel like I've done a very complicated way of doing this. I should have maybe just gone in and done this manually to start. Sometimes we way overcomplicate our thoughts. So we should just have the knuckles selected at this point. And then what we want to do is, if I remember correctly, feather the selection. Maybe they don't call it that anymore. Modify. Not feather, maybe. Want to contract it all by 40 pixels? That's too much. Not entirely working the way I want it to work, but it's okay. I think I, once again, did things backwards, but it's okay. Doing this right? Did I want that to be black or did I want that to be... I want the inside to be black, I think. I want the knuckles to disappear. So I think what I want to do is select these bits then. Oops. That one I'll leave. I think what I want to do is, because I want this to be, so I want to load selection knuckles, and I want that to be oops. Made it worse. Hang on. Cheers, Blur. It is actually about time for me to get up and take a break. Everybody save. I have not saved since starting this. So I'm going to hit the save button. All right. That's pretty much what I wanted it to look like, I think. And then the idea is that we would essentially erase all the white. So theoretically, hang on, theoretically, this will select all the white and come down here. And as long as I'm absolutely happy with where this is located and how much it's showing. I feel like I want to get as much of the temple in there as possible. And I feel like that's pretty much doing the work right there. Or I can do it kinda there. And then what we can theoretically do is, oops, select the white. Select, oops. Select the rest of this. And then we would theoretically go here and hit clear. And we come back here, select the white. This is theoretically not quite what I'm going for, but pretty close to what I'm going for. Is something like this. Or something to this effect. I don't think I'm going to be able to completely get rid of the white. This is very, very close to what we're going for here. What I might need to do is actually use another layer. Of the claws, but basically, if we turn that off, we have created this sort of area where you can see through the thing. Probably I didn't do the best selection job, so we'll probably go back here and clean that up a bit. But that's pretty much, that's kind of what we're going for. So yeah. I think I just have to get all of the white, the internal white selected. Snacks! Carly would like snacks for everyone. Everyone grab snacks for yourself. Have snacks. I also have to decide if I want to leave some of the white outline in, or if I want it to be completely not there. But this is pretty close to kind of what I'm looking for. Carly, I love you, you dumb bitch. You're the best. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm actually not gonna save again because I saved right before I did a bunch of stuff that I undid. But this is close. This is getting very close to what I want to do with this picture. I basically just have to figure out the last couple steps here. So I'm gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come back and hopefully finish this. And if I get finished with this one, we'll flip over to the box set cover and get that set up. I don't know that we'll get to book 2 today. I made Go say that on stream the other night, and he said, Carly, I freaking love you, you dumb booger. That sounds like Ghost. One time we were playing Cards Against Humanity, and somebody played a card that I can't even remember the right card because I remember it incorrectly, but I think it was like a fucking mountain or something. Or a mountain of fucking, basically, and Ghost read it as Copulation Mountain. Instead of like a pile of fucking or something. And that has been, like, I will never forget Copulation Mountain. Alright, I will be right back, and we will... I think we're getting close to where I want this to be. So fingers and toes crossed, and I will be right back. All right, so I think the question we're asking ourselves right now is if we want to keep some of the white or if we want all of the white to ultimately be transparent. So if we turn off this and this, or rather if we turn off that and do like, are we essentially creating this shape, or do we feel like it will look better with solid white lines in there? Because I kind of feel like it looks better. It possibly looks better with some of the white in there. Thank you, Blur. So this is essentially what I'm trying to determine now is... how we're going to deal with this. Now, I think there's a way to do color range. I don't think it's gonna help me. Oh, welcome back, Carly. So I think it leaves all the white flecks, which is a little bit of a pain in the butt because I can select them manually. I've selected too much now. I think I should just leave that and probably that. just selection, load selection, add to selection, knuckle lines. Should save that trouble. Oops. Aw, sardonisms. I'm so sorry and also so glad to hear that? Question mark. I mean, at least if it's a difficult problem and you're working with a nice person, that's better than doing a difficult problem with a difficult person. Guess I shouldn't necessarily worry about every little piece if I'm not planning on necessarily keeping this. So, hang on. If we go... It does look better with the white, I think. Although that looks kind of cool where it crosses in. I think it's going to need a solid outline of some kind. I told her, not that it's not great talking to you, but I hope we don't get to do it again. We've talked several times recently, getting everything set up for her end users. Keep finding new hiccups. Oh no, that is the nature of setting things up, unfortunately. I like this, but I think it looks better with the white. I think it looks better with the white outline. So what I think we need to do is go back here. Let's see. Deselect. So if we go here and select the white, select the inverse. So now we've selected the dark bits. So now we've selected the dark bits. Now we can once again ignore this part. Expand it. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to create a white outline. So I have the dark bits. Expand this by 10 pixels. That creates a white outline. Doing this the way I want to do this. Yeah, I think so. Because I think what I want to do is select the outer part, then load in the dark selection and expand the modification and subtract that from... So I want to save this and subtract that from the selection. So then what I want to do is select all the white. So from the underside, I want to get rid of, for that layer, get rid of this. I did this in the wrong order. Lol, hang on. Deselect. Select. And then I want to add this. Add this. Add this. I want to come here and I want to clear that out so that if we turn that off, that's what we have for that. And then we want to add this back on and we want to select the white and then we want to load this selection, dark expanded, subtract, and then we want to clear that. This is very, very close to what we want. This is very, very close to what we want. This is very close to what we want. So this looks a lot better than the way that I had it before. I feel like it's doing a lot more of what I want it to do. This looks very... I feel like this looks really good. I'm very, very happy with it so far. Might be a couple of places. Might be a couple of places up here where we don't necessarily need the expansion of the outline. But let's see, let's fiddle with it a little bit now that we have this. Because there's a lot of things that we can do. We can do potentially... So I might need to create a separate layer for that. But this is very close. This is the closest I've gotten so far to what I've been trying to do. I think what I need to do is pull the outline onto a different layer. Potentially. So what I can actually do is go back to here. And go back to... Basically want to duplicate this layer. Hey, Writer's Troop! I did make a notification work for her and made it easier than I thought it would be at first, so I feel successful. Heck yeah! So to keep everything inside here. Oops. What have I selected? Oops, I've done something in reverse here. Kind of like this. Hang on, let's get... Getting closer. We're zooming in. We're zooming in. Gonna read in about 10 minutes. Lurky lurk until then. Sorry if I didn't get a chance to answer before this. I'm so focused. Writer's Troop, it's going well. I'm sure you can't hear me right now, but I hope it's going well with you. Gotta bring couch pieces inside. Good luck, Sardonisms. So I might have to bring those knuckle pieces into this as well, because I don't have them as part of this layer. But let's get to where we're happy with it. I mean, that looks pretty... That does look pretty good, I will say. I don't know why. Sometimes when you zoom out, it messes with the edges in this version of Photoshop. I'm not sure why. But that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how that is starting to look. And I could make the lines... I can make the lines less severe. Like I can make them just very light. So we can fiddle with that there. There's also, I could do, I could do normal and I could do a color overlay. So we could make the lines black theoretically if we wanted to, and then go back to the blending options and see if that changes anything. Probably not for black. doesn't. Unless I fiddle with the opacity a bit. I think it looked better without the color overlay, to be honest. The other thing I can also do, I suppose, while we're looking at just outlines, is I could just put a stroke on that and make it white. We could also do this to make it less hardcore. That actually works pretty well too. Then I just can't necessarily change the color of it. Oh, I can change the opacity though. So I might not need that extra layer. I do need to add some of the white down here to that, I think. That looks pretty good. Now I'm basically just screwing around. Ooh. That kind of looks cool. Interesting. Okay. So I think what I need to do is I need to add the white to that. Need to add the rest of the weight to that, I think. I may not actually need that extra layer, I think. If I do the stroke... It might actually be more subtle if I do it this way. Although it does put the stroke all the way around the outside, so that's not great. Not sure if I could erase that. Oh, maybe I was in the wrong. Maybe it was in the wrong thing. Hang on. Stroke. It's not doing it up there though, so I wonder if it's because this part is accidentally selected somehow. can't get rid of that one. Is that in here? There we go. Okay. Okay, perfect. Oh, interesting. Let's see that. The Writer's Troop is here! Welcome in! And Carly's back! Writer's Troop, how was your stream? How was your productivity today? I felt that in my soul. Can't find that one dot because you have so many layers. I know, right? And now I see there's more. There's more that I have to get rid of. I think that looks pretty good, though. I have to change... I have to get the rest of the white with it, so I think we'll do that, and then finish adjusting it. I really feel like I'm close to where I want to be with this. So, let's see. Very sweaty from walking. I hope it was a good walk, Carly. Alright, let's see if we can get... If we can get all of this white in here. I'll turn off the text again because it makes it difficult to see what I'm doing. Alright. Let's see if we can get more of this white selected again. There's gonna be flecks that are just actual white because there's some that are a little too a bit of a pain in the butt, but select the ones we can. And that one's gonna be a pain in the butt, so just leave it. Selection. Load selection, knuckle lines, add. Whoop! That wasn't what I meant to do. Whoops. Pretty good. I'm ranty today about the state of my country. Oh no, I can feel that, Writer's Troop. Carly, you're amazing. Thank you for the welcomes and the blankies. Heck yeah. We've always got blankies here. Even in the summer. Alright, let's see here. We're kind of down to the fiddly little bits and bobs of this here. Getting it to look the way I want it to look, but we'll see. See how it goes. Get it slightly more consistent here. Oop. I might just have to stay. Oh, there we go. Okay. And I want to make sure I get all the knuckle lines here. Oop. Well, that didn't go according to plan. There we go. So theoretically, all I have to do is go and clear that to make it look like the rest. Heck yeah, look at that. That looks snazzy. It looks pretty snazzy. I'm getting pretty happy with this, I must say. Thank you. I think it looks much better than... It's much closer to my original concept that I originally wanted than the way it turned out before. So I'm just going to select some more of that white space in there to get it added to the effect. And then I'm going to put the text in and we'll do the final adjustments. Also, hi. It's looking great so far. Thank you, Writers Troop. Take care. Leaving you with a hydrate or dihydrate. I'm going to take a quick break here in a minute because I really need to pee and reheat my coffee. And we will hydrate when we get back. For sure. Because this is reminding me that it is time for me to take a break. But I'm really happy with this. I feel like it's working a lot better. And what I can actually do too is if I want the outline to be more intense... we can turn up the opacity here on the stroke in order to make it more. And I've got that inner shadow turned on to make it like super crisp and super clear. And then hopefully, theoretically, when we put the text back over it, it's intense enough that you can see the outline, but not so intense that you can't read it. And I think this is looking really good. I definitely think this has been worth remaking. This is so much closer to what I really wanted to do with it. And we're basically just at the point where we can So I can turn off the bevel if we feel like that makes it a little clearer. I think I can screw with the opacity of that as well. And then I've also got the inner shadow turned on, so there's a whole bunch of things. We could turn on the glow if we feel like that works better. This just adds a little bit of depth, but we can always turn that off. I can also turn that off. And then I'm thinking I do kind of like, because this sort of adds some intensity to the background, so we could fiddle with this as well. Elhawk, hello, hello! How's it going, my friend? What you up to today? So we can fiddle around with this as well, see if it makes any difference. I don't necessarily see that it is making much of a difference. But it does give some texture to it for sure. Reset to default. Also, oh, I think I can change the color that it uses here, so I could lighten it up a bit to give it less intensity, or I could go really light and give it some brightness in the background. So we'll fiddle with that. But I think this is coming along really, really well. Manually copying over my work since the file didn't save the right way. No, Elhawk, I'm so sorry. And yeah, and of course I can turn up, so we've got the opacity set at 64 right now, but we can turn it all the way back up to being, just a one for one as well if we want. But I'm pretty happy with how this is coming along. So yes, I think this works a lot better, than the previous covers. I'm excited to get the other ones. I'm hoping the other ones will be as simple and easy to do, because this has actually not been as difficult as I thought it would be. But I'm going to take a quick break and use the restroom quickly, reheat my coffee because we got some hydrates on the board to do. I still have a copy, and now I can edit as I go. Heck yeah, Elhawk, that's a good way to look at it. If I missed anything, Rai says, I'm watching for my phone in the car while running errands because I want to keep my watch streak. Aw, Rai, I appreciate you. If I missed anything, any questions, any comments that you guys wanted to direct at my attention, I do get hyper-focused when I do these covers, so I do forget sometimes that I'm streaming. So toss those back at me while I'm on the break. I will be right back, and we'll finish this up, and it'll be amazing. All right, we got hydrates. I know I missed one. I'm gonna do 2 just in case I missed another one. Carly, enjoy your lurk. Heck yeah. Thanks, Blur. Alright, let's see. I'm already, like, super excited to try... Now that I've done one of them, I'm super excited to try the next one. Because I feel like it's gonna be... I feel like it's gonna be so much better, now that I've got this going on. All right. So just got to go into we're still working on this layer here and just get rid of a little bit more of these white bits. So let's do that. Was that? Some of these just teeny itty bitty little white flecks we'll just leave, but I feel like I got most of the stuff in the claws already. It's too tiny to really be worth it anyway. too far, and then we go edit clear, and that should bring everything pretty much up to the same color level. And there we go. I do have to apparently go in here and fix whatever layer that's on, because please no. Please go away. Please no. But there we go. So we've got, I think that is super snazzy. That is very, very much what I was looking to do. And then we just want to fiddle with this a little bit more for some finishing. Ghost Pepper, thank you for did you just resub the other day? Thank you for 41 months. Pringles, Collie amazed by the length of my substreak, spicy side-eye. Finished report cards, heck yeah! That's what you were up to today. That's what you were up to today. Oh, hang on. I gotta make sure that I am in the right thing, because I am not. Just gonna fiddle with all the various different... Oh, dang. Could've just done that all along. Just gonna fiddle with the various different things here. I do kind of like if we turn on the bevel, and the texture, I think that looks kind of cool, but it might be too much. It might be a little too much, because this is going to be tiny at some point, so... but I do kind of like the idea of fiddling with this, and having a little bit of a contrast in there. I can also lighten it up a bit. Wonder if that makes any difference. Oh no, the white is almost exactly the same. Okay. So it's really only the darker color. Do we like it with the sort of dark texture to it, or do we like it more with the brightness? So I can also go in. One thing I didn't do and can do is I can go in and fiddle with the so that's if I turn it completely white, and then we sort of have the middle there. Position. Oh, interesting. And what I can also do is I can screw with this blend mode as well, if I want to. Now, I don't know that it's going to make any difference. I don't see it really doing much. So that's fine. Just normal. Although maybe if I do it this way. Okay, I have to actually... Oops. Color dodge is interesting, because then it's like the color of what's underneath it, which is kind of cool. I was in deep focus mode. I can do light work while paying attention to these streams, but not the stuff that requires a lot of time and attention. Fair. I often mute during other productivity streams when I'm producing at the same time. So I do kind of like having it be the same color as what's underneath it a little bit. I think that does add a little bit of extra to it. Same. The linear dodge kind of does the same thing. Can also turn off the inner shadow at any point if we need to. And then the overlay is just basically lets us see through. That's a little too light, I think. And then the hard light is like a slightly less intense. Same there. That one kind of gives you, it kind of gives you what's underneath it a little bit. So it gives you almost like a gradient kind of feel to it. And a difference will do an opposite. That one goes super dark. So we basically have like the normal one, which is basically just like we can make it as soft or as intense as we want it to be. And then we have like the linear light, I think it was, or the was it the linear light or the linear dodge that kind of makes it like a bit of a gradient. Where are we in there? It was the linear light that I was looking at. Or like the hard mix gives you a little bit of a pop. Color dodge is the one that kind of gives you a little hint of what's underneath it. So I guess I'm just basically trying to decide what I want the intensity of this to be, essentially. I feel like it needs to be pretty intense though, because otherwise you're gonna lose. Like if you go too low, you lose the sort of definition of the claws. So I think I'm gonna leave it there. Oh, I can do a gradient. Interesting. Interesting. I think we're just gonna go with color. I think we're just gonna leave it there. I'm pretty happy with that. And then what I can do, because I never did do this, hang on. Hopefully that's still readable. I don't think there's too much going on up there that it's hard to read. Can tone it down a little bit if I need to. There where I have it. I did want to see if I could make the text bolder, but I must say I did not like that. Interesting. So I can't really do much to that aside from maybe fiddle with this a little bit more. That'll make it thinner, so I don't want to do that. And I don't want to do... I don't want to do that, because again, it'll make it thinner. Can make the shadow more intense? Potentially. I don't know that that really helps a ton. Next time you reach a break when you're not in what you're doing, I sent you... Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you don't really have to ask me about that, but I appreciate the heads up. How are we feeling about this? Does it look finished? I keep thinking, I keep making little tiny changes and thinking maybe it's not entirely done yet. Maybe it needs something. Does it need something else? Does the stroke need to be like fully white? Is that what we're going for? I do have this that I can also play with because I made a copy of this that I could fuck around with and find out. All right. I think when you reach this point, it needs to just be... You need to just let it be done. Because I can't think of anything else. I could make this slightly more intense. Could make it wider. But I do kind of feel like at this point, I'm just kind of splitting hairs over how I want it to look. So I kind of feel like I just have to let it be finished. What do we think? Chat, do we feel like it's done? Do we feel like it looks good? Do we feel like it needs something else? Another thing I can do is if we feel like, oh yeah, I was going to do a, curves on this to try and, but it's going to affect both layers. So never mind. Let's not do that. I can do a bit of, I can do a bit of vibrance. I don't think I really like that. I can do an exposure. So I can make that a bit brighter if I want to, or screw with the gamma. Kind of feel like it's good where it is. Could also put this above there. I think I'm just gonna leave it. There is a kitchen DLC. I haven't gotten it yet. I don't think I'm gonna have a chance to look at it until the week after next, so I haven't gotten it. It came out yesterday, actually. It came out March 26th. It's only like $9, Ghost Pepper, so we can just grab it for the two of us, because I'm hoping to grab it anyway. I'm gonna save this. I feel like this does what I wanted it to do, and I feel like if I zoom out, I feel like that's gonna be the main thing, is if I look at it super small, I feel like it's doing the thing that I want it to do. It's readable. It's readable when it's small. It's visually interesting. It doesn't super lose the effect when you look at it small. So I think this works. I think this is where I'm gonna keep it. Yes. I'm kinda so excited by how that went that I wonder if I could quickly spoof up the next one. I don't think there's a specific Spirit City room share. If Ghost wants to make one, we could. But also you could just put it in like photos or whatever. I'm just worried. I'm just a little worried that the text isn't entirely readable up here. Oh yeah, what I could do is link these layers and move them. Excuse me. How dare you still have stuff outside of where I selected? That explains why I was getting all the weirdness. That explains why there was weirdness. Huzzah. Now that we've done that, we can take these 2 layers, which we do have linked, and we can actually just move it around. And if we feel like it's interfering with the text, we can screw with it. I could also... do it that way. I feel like it's more visually interesting. I don't like that though. So we move it down. We can move it up. We can move it sideways. I could tilt it some more. I like that either. Hang on. This is where we had it. This is where we had. Woo! Can do is shrink it a bit if we feel like we need to. I don't like that though. I don't like that, Raymond. I don't like that. Hey, Radstag Riley! Oops. I have forgotten how my OBS works. There we go. How's it going? What were you up to today? We are just trying to figure out where the best place... I feel like if I go all the way back... Where did I have it before that? I had it there. Might just be the best place for it. I can also make it bigger. Hang on, where did I have it? I had it there. I can also make it bigger if we feel like bigger is better. How do we feel about that? How do we feel about that? It does feel slightly, for some reason, slightly more readable. Can make that shadow more intense as well. Oops! Don't hit the button too many times. I feel like that's doing almost nothing, but I want them to be uniform. I feel like, again, I feel like I just have to let it be done. I keep saying, it's done, and then I keep changing something. But I do feel like, that looks pretty good, and I feel like it needs to be done. Hey, Wolfkeeper, how's it going? I know, I didn't know if you wanted me to call you by your new name or your old name. I'm so bad with names. Please tell me what you want to be called. I was giving people grocery store ASMR with Supermarket Simulator. People like the noise the game makes without music. How far did you get? I saw you're trying to get to level 100. How far away are you? I don't think I could play a game to level 100. I don't think I could. I feel like I would get to level 25 and give up, but how is it going? Also, Woof, how are you, my dear? What is up? I need to, I want to see, because now I'm very curious. Subscribe for something. I am very curious if I could get the other one together like super quickly. Level 41! Hot damn! That is far. Especially if you started on Tuesday. Are you still feeling like the vibe after 41? Like 41 levels deep, you're still like, yeah, this is totally my vibe. Now this one I was a little less happy with how it turned out. So Might go all the way down to not having the... Go all the way down to not having the hourglass. So this was the background that we started with. Now remember, ram horn, not Nautilus. Totally not Nautilus shell. I totally didn't search Nautilus shell because I couldn't find a ram horn. Shh. Totally didn't search Nautilus shell because I couldn't find a ram horn. It's totally not what happened, you guys. It's totally, I would never do that. Oh gosh, look how beautiful that is. I mean, what I think I can even do with this one is just, can I just select all the white in one go? Ugh, it's almost perfect. It's almost perfect. It's almost perfect. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at how gorge. Excuse me, please. Please cease to exist, thank you. Please cease your existence this instant. Thank you. Goodbye. Farewell. I feel like I could change this just a little bit more. Also, again, please go away. Thank you. Thank you. Do not come again. Look at how beautiful. Look at how friggin' beautiful this is. Woof, why are you yelling at me? What did I do? Oh, I searched Nautilus shell instead of ram horn. Because I couldn't find a ram horn. And then what we want is, I have to do it this way because it keeps flashing the backdrop of my recent files whenever I open something, and I can't, there's things on there that you can't see on stream. I can't put them on stream because they were for my other pen name and they might involve nips, as we've established. But here we go. We have this, and then we probably won't get this fully finished, but this is already, like, super coming together. And then we go lighten. Actually, hang on. Normal. Do that. I'm gonna do this. I did things in the wrong order. I did things in the wrong order. That's okay. We can fill this back in. Save selection. Let's fill this back in. That's fine. Okay, and then we do a lighten. Hell yeah! And then we move this around until it looks the way we want it to look. I mean, that looks pretty good, but we can move it around even more. Move it until it's doing what we want it to do. I feel like where I had it, I feel like this was pretty... I feel like this was pretty good. Look at that. And we like instantly already have something that matches the other one. And then if I really, really wanted to... really wanted to, I could add the hourglass back in. Actually, I don't know that I want to. That it really fits anymore. And that looks pretty good. I just said, hey Wolfkeeper, how's it going? I listen to music that the people watching can't hear and mentally poke, prod, and plan the new story idea as I play, so I'm feeling the vibe just in a different way. Heck yeah! I mean, as long as you're enjoying it, that's the most important thing. I feel like that looks pretty good. I also feel like it looks like a ram horn. And that's pretty much exactly like the same as what we had on the other one. And then if I wanted to link these layers, and I could adjust them to be slightly more central. I just have to, ugh. Oh, it won't let me select outside the frame. Well, you jerk! I feel like that carries off the concept pretty well. And I guess if I wanted to, I could add in... I could add in some of the rune stuff as well. And, I can screw with this here. Make it lighter. I can make it darker. We could also... We didn't really do that with this one. I never did try to do a shadow. Oh, because that'll screw with my... Never mind. That'll screw with my... Could give it a shadow. Could give it a shadow as well. That came together like super quickly, because as soon as you know what you're doing, it's really easy. So I can fiddle with that, but I'm pretty satisfied. I feel like this concept works better than the other concept, and I feel like if we zoom out, the rain is in my spirit game. Yeah, it's always raining in my spirit world. I live in the rain. So yeah, I feel like that works pretty well. And if you zoom out, it still has a pretty decent definition. I'm not entirely sure if you can tell that it's a forest in the small one. But I'm not entirely sure if you could tell it was a forest in the small one before either. So I'm going to save this and just... I feel like I'm going to fiddle with it more. I feel like it's not quite done yet. But I feel like it's pretty good for something that I've spent literally 20 minutes on. God, now I'm like, can we proof of concept the third one? I don't know if I have as good an image for the... I don't know if I have as good an image for the third one. That is one problem. Because I never really settled on a image that I wanted to use for the third one, because I kind of feel like... This one's gonna have a watermark on it, so... Actually, maybe just... Whoops, that's the wrong series. Like I said, this one's gonna have a watermark because I'm not entirely sure that I want to use this one yet. So, bear with me here. It's gonna be a bit blurry and not great because I'm not using the final version. I have to screw with this one a bit more in order to get it to do what I really want it to do. Oops. That's what I want to do. I guess it's the same. Should be the same amount of stuff that you see through either way. Take care, Wolfkeeper. It's good to see you. We're going to be wrapping up here in a few minutes. I'm just kind of doing a proof of concept here to make sure that the rest of these will work the way I want them to. They're obviously going to need more finishing. But I'm kind of pleased with the proof of concept. I think they do work better than the current ones that I have. Whoops, that's the one with the watermark on it. This one I actually do have a version that doesn't have the watermark on it, so huzzah. See, I think this one won't work quite as well because you can't see much through it. But in terms of a concept, I guess it works. You can see that it works. Probably won't be able to use that particular wing for that one because I think I think there's not enough space for you to see. But in terms of proof of concept, I think it works a lot better than the other one that I have. So that's nice. That's nice to know. So I know that I need to find something that has a bit more open space as part of the wing design, I think. It might be easier to do something like this. Left the selection. Might be easier to use something like this. Again, there's a watermark on this, so not the final version of what we would be using, obviously. There we go. Something like that would work a lot better. I'll have to fiddle with it because I haven't found a wing photo that I'm entirely happy with, but I think it works a lot better to have the clean, clear lines versus the way I had it before. So we'll see. Not entirely happy with that one. Not necessarily going to save that one, but very happy with the first two. Where did they go? how do I scroll along the top here? Very happy with these. I think these worked out pretty well. Oops. I think these worked out pretty well. This one, obviously, not quite done. Just kind of proof of concepting there. This one, pretty much done. So happy with that. And then I basically just need to find the right picture, I think, for the wing one, in order to make it look right. So I'll probably test a couple of different images with that one just to see if I can find one that I think works better. But this one's done. This one's almost done. I mean, I feel like that just needs a little bit of finishing, and fiddling around with to make it look a little bit nicer. And then for the box sets, we're basically just going to take the copy that we made of this cover. So this is the original cover from before we changed it, and I'm basically just going to change the title. So I'm basically just going to change the title slightly. To make it look like something slightly different. And I'll probably put a tagline in here that says, you know, part one of the collection. Ooh. Not that small, please. I don't know why that doesn't work properly. The other one is, what, Freebooter? Oh gosh. Something to this effect. Actually, I should move that up with the rest of the text. What am I doing? And we get a drop shadow on there. Whatever, how do I have this one set? 9 and 10. Actually, I might need to make that a 5 just so it works with that one. And we're basically, obviously, again, I'm probably going to fiddle with a lot of these to give them finishing, but that's pretty much what I'm going to do is take this cover and turn it into the box set, because this was the one cover that I was really, really super happy with. And then we have the new book 1 cover, which is very similar to the old one. We have the new book 2 cover coming along. And then I have to just find an image that I think will work super clean and clear with the other one. So yeah, I think this was a very productive stream. I'm really happy with the new concepts. I think they work pretty well. I'm probably going to fiddle around with the balance on this one a little bit, because I feel like I can try to make the horn a little bit bigger and make it take up a little bit more space and show a little bit more of the forest. But since I literally threw that together in like 5 minutes, I'm not too sad about the idea of possibly redoing some of it. This one's pretty much done. This one's just gonna get saved. I might throw in a lens flare somewhere or something to finish it off. And then this one's pretty much done. I'm just going to fiddle around with the tagline and hopefully make that a little bit more readable. And then, yeah. So what I'm kind of doing is reversing for the first book in the series. It's called Someone's Suffering Child, and the last book is called Everyone's Celestial Mother. So for the box sets, I'm sort of switching it and calling it Everyone's Suffering Child and Someone's Celestial Mother, because that feels clever to me. But that's what we're doing. I'm happy with it. I had no idea if any of this was actually going to work, and I actually kind of really, really like how this turned out. I think it works a lot better than what I was doing before. It just kind of looks smoother, cleaner, a bit more professional than what I had. Cover design can feel really good. And I feel like when I was making the first set of covers, I wasn't entirely happy with how they were coming out, and I knew that I wasn't entirely happy with how they were coming out, but I was so close to release that I felt like I just had to go with it, and I didn't feel like I could really completely pivot. And now I've had some time to go back to revisit the concepts and to sort of think about it more, and I definitely feel like this is a lot better. And if I really want to, like, I can still go in here and fiddle with, like, I can change my stroke color. I could make this red if I felt like that would work better, and then give it a bigger opacity or whatever. Like I can do a couple more finishing effects on this if I need to, but I feel like it's really, really close to being just exactly what I want it to be, and a lot closer to what I was originally imagining that it would be. I think I went too complicated the first time. I just needed simpler, cleaner images to make it work. And we saw how once you have the concept down and you know what you're doing, you can just really quickly put the elements together. And that's kind of what I'm going for, is a cover that doesn't take super long and doesn't need necessarily a ton of me sitting down and fiddling with it to get it to fit into the image that I'm going for. So I'm really happy with this. This one's more proof of concept than anything else, but I'm really happy with this. I think I can bring these together and get them finished and get them out. So let me just make sure that I've saved everything that needs to be saved. That one is saved, and this one is saved. And that's where we're going to end stream for today. I'm just going to fold off my display capture while we choose somebody to raid, because I've got some stuff open on my browser here. But I'm really happy with how that went. I'm looking forward to, I'll need at least one more session working with those, possibly two, in order to get everything down to where I really want it to be. But I'm happy with this. I feel like it went well. Let's see who's around. So many people. I haven't re-rated in a while. I'm tempted to drop in on Glow. She's not doing productivity, but Glow is super sweet, and I don't see her on very often. So I do like to raid her when I can, because she rates me. She's raided me a lot, and we're like so different channels, but Glow is super chill and super cool. So I think we're gonna go over and say hi to her. And she's not playing a super spoopy game for once. Almost done with the eyes in this piece, then it's on to shading. I don't know if I'm going to do cell shading, soft shading, maybe a mix of both now that I think about it. That would be cool, Blur. I hope you found out what was going on with the Dragonborn and fixed it. It sounds like you noticed that you had forgotten something. Thanks again for joining me, everyone, this week. I know it's been a whirlwind week between me hurting my back and just things being the way they be. I don't have a set plan for next week's stream schedule. I might not be able to stream next week at all, unfortunately, because I'm going to have an even worse back situation next week than I had this week. So bear with me if I'm absent for a little while. Keep an eye on the Discord. If I'm able to, I might try to pop in on Tuesday. But based on previous weeks where I'm like, oh, I'll try to stream if I feel up to it, I just probably won't feel up to it next week, unfortunately. So keep an eye on the Discord just in case, but I probably won't be around next week. But the week after, which is the second week in April, so that's going to be the week of the 7th, I will be back. We will be doing more of what we've been doing here, and we will hopefully be doing the Chat Writes a Story. I'm going to put up a section of the Discord where you guys can make suggestions for what you want to be in the story. You can suggest characters, you can suggest events, and you can suggest settings. I'm going to prioritize people who are in the chat the day that we work on it, but just because I know that not everyone who donated is going to be able to be there on the day, I'm going to put up a section in the Discord, a little thread in the Discord where you guys can make suggestions for what you want to be incorporated so that we have a pool to draw from, and so that people who aren't necessarily there on the day can also contribute to making that happen. So we're going to be doing that on the week of the 7th. That was one of the things that you guys unlocked from the fundraiser. And after that, after we finished writing Chat's story, I'm going to start working on the My Little Dahmerin fanfic that you guys unlocked during the fundraiser. So we're going to start outlining it, and we're going to start writing it on stream. So anybody who has a pony who hasn't sent me a description yet, give me what you want for your pony, because we're going to get started on that next month. So all that is happening here on this channel this week on Saturday at 11 a.m. PST, 2 p.m. EST. Figure yourself out if you're in the middle there somewhere. I will be on Flannel's channel. We will be doing Call of Cthulhu. I'm super excited about it. I've never played Call of Cthulhu before, but I am familiar with the setting and with the system, so I'm super excited to try it. I get to use my percentile dice, which never happens. So that's going to be happening. Flanny is GMing for us. The players are myself, Ghost Pepper, ATM0, aka Dad, It's Mumbles, and Jay Chili, Joseph Chilson. So it's going to only be his second time ever playing a game. We'll see who goes insane and who manages to hold on to their sanity. Yes, send me a description of what you would like your pony to be, Blur. And remember, when you're describing your ponies, you have to choose between an Earth pony, a Pegasus pony, or a Unicorn pony. Those are the 3 options. No alicorns, unfortunately. Alicorns restricted, but those are your 3 options. Also, on Saturday night, as per usual, I'm going to be over on It's Swift's channel. We're going to be doing our Cozy Chaos. That's going to be happening after the Call of Cthulhu game wraps up. So you still get a dose of me this weekend before I have to vanish into the ether for a little while. But hopefully that'll be enough of me. And I will be back as soon as I'm feeling better. I'm expecting to have some health issues going on next week, so if for some reason I feel okay, I will stream, but as usual, like, I hate to say, oh, I'll stream if I feel up to it, and then I just don't feel up to it. So apologies if next week doesn't work out, but thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Let's get a raid going, so that I can go eat some food. I had a bat pony. You could probably do a bat pony. They would be like a modification of the Pegasus, because the Pegasus ponies have wings. So I'm assuming she would just have bat wings. You could do that. You could do a bat winged pony. I just don't want people to submit a bunch of alicorns, because alicorns are supposed to be like royalty. So I'm probably going to restrict those. But we have a robot pony, so you can definitely have a bat pony. I don't see why not. Anyway, guys, take care of yourself. Remember to eat, to sleep, to drink. That'd be awesome, Blur. Perfect. Remember to eat, to sleep, to drink, to take your medication, to get up and move around from time to time. I wish you all the productivity and also creativity of however many days there are before I see you again. Thank you for coming out for the new layout reveal. Thank you for coming out to hang out with me. And just thank you for being your wonderful, awesome selves. See you guys soon, either Saturday or sometime after that. And until then, please, please, please take care of yourself.